Hey everybody, and welcome back. This will be my third week in a row that I've posted a video, and that is amazing to me. I don't know if it's amazing to you, but it's amazing to me, and here's why. I had a year where there was no content. So, 3 in a row, so cool. Here we are. You came here to watch a video of me customizing a doll. And that's what we're going to do. Today, we are making Sailor Mars. It's going to be a series. I'm going to finish it. Zodiac people. I'm going to finish the series, and it's going to be amazing because I love Sailor Moon. I'm a big fan of Sailor Moon, always have been. Just started actually watching the series because it's available on Hulu. Not sponsored. Would like to be. That would be really cool. I watch a lot of Hulu. But the series in its entirety, and it's dubbed and it's subbed if you want to watch either way, is on Hulu, and I just started watching it. I think I'm in the 3rd season right now, and it's really deep. Like, some of the concepts are really, like, intellectual, I guess you would say. I really am enjoying myself. I never completely watched the series because that's not something you did in the early 2000s or even the mid 2000s, was watch a series, like a cartoon series, in order, like it's supposed to be watched. You just watched random episodes. It's not like today where things are kind of cohesive. You have to watch one episode to understand the next episode, and that really is what Sailor Moon is. I mean, there are like one-off things, but at the end there's usually like a whole story they're putting together for a whole season, and that's really fun and really cool. And as an adult, I get to see what I missed when I was watching it as a child, because we didn't have a DVR, we didn't have streaming services. I know for my younger audiences, if I have any, that is a mind-blowing thing. I'm really not that old, but I am old enough to know that we didn't have a DVR. Cable was a choice we could make because we had regular TV channels that we could just watch. And they used to play Sailor Moon on Toonami on Cartoon Network, but before it was on in the evening. Like, I think it plays at midnight now. It used to play in the middle of the afternoon, like an anime, couple of hours in the middle of the afternoon after school, and that's how I watched Sailor Moon growing up. So it's very cool that I get to share it with my own kids now, who are 11 and 7. I'm sorry, 10 and 7, and it's just a really cool experience, and I'm enjoying the nostalgia, and I definitely enjoyed making this doll. I had to figure out some stuff because anime is very different from any kind of realism or any other kind of cartoon. It's its own entity. So I had some challenges. I had fun doing it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Get excited for content because I'm making it. I'm making content, which is really cool for me. Again, have no idea if you guys are enjoying it, but if you do, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things YouTubers say, because now I feel like a YouTuber. I didn't feel it before. I feel it now. So comment, like, share, subscribe, tell me how you feel. If you liked it, you didn't like it, you wish it was something different. Any of those things will work for me. And yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, you know the drill. If you've been here before, if you haven't, here's the drill. We do voiceovers. That beginning clip was just me seeing a bunch of dolls that I liked for this project, and I picked this one. I can't for the life of me remember her name. I'm very sure she is a Ever After High doll, not a Monster High doll, but I could be lying to you. I'll look it up and post it somewhere. Maybe in the description box, maybe in the title. I don't actually know. That's how these voiceovers work. But here I am cutting off all of her hair because that is how we start this game. We cut off all the hair and we throw it away because we don't need it. We are rerouting this bad boy or girl, this person. We're rerouting this person to go ahead and make the necessary changes we need to do. I take boiling water to soften up the vinyl of the head and pull it off. Make sure that you are using a washcloth or some kind of protection because boiling water is hot. This is a very dangerous art form, guys. Again, I'm going to reiterate, this is not for kids. And if you are a kid and you want to do something like this, you are going to need parental supervision because this is not an art form for kids. Let's just say that. The hair we are going to be putting in is a black. Sailor Mars' hair is black, so the best way to make sure that if the hair for some reason parts weird and the scalp is showing, we paint it black so it's not as noticeable. I really did like how that paint laid down on the head and there wasn't much chipping, so I also really like that. I'm using hair from the Doll Planet. This is new hair to me. I believe this is new hair that they have gotten to put in their store. And I'm not gonna lie, it was weird at first, but after a while in the styling, I actually really enjoyed it. It is low temperature hair, which I was not used to, so boil washing was weird, like at the end after I'm all finished, because I had to have a specific temperature or else it will melt. So that's the thing to remember if you are going to reroute any dolls. What temperature is its melting point? Because a lot of styling, you use heat instruments like a straightener or boil washing or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're not melting your doll's hair because that is, you know, bad. You spend hours and hours doing a reroute and then you melt all the hair. I would be devastated. I would be so sad. So if you're doing the same, just know that it's a thing. Here we are. I'm just showing you how I reroute using my rerouting tool, and I poke it into existing plugs. Do not make extra plugs unless you need to. I don't know why I didn't show you guys that I took off the face, but I did take off her face with 100% acetone, and then I sprayed her face with 3 coats of Mr. Super Clear, letting it dry for about 10 minutes before I started. I say that because you don't want to work when it's still wet. It's not going to work. And we all know the name of the game is layers. For this doll, like I mentioned in the intro, she's an anime character. Anime characters have really weird proportions on their faces. Their eyes are really big. They basically have non-existent noses and very small mouths, if they have a mouth at all. They're basically just eyes and cheeks and chins. And I feel like a lot of anime characters are just that. And Sailor Moon is no different. They have very big eyes, very small mouths, and very little noses. So trying to create this doll as a representation of Sailor Mars, I wanted to make sure I was staying a little bit true to her design, which makes it so that I had to take, this doll has very defined eye sculpt. So I had to, you know, fudge it a little. I had to make new eye shapes and hope that they were opaque enough that you wouldn't be able to really notice the fact that there is another eye shape underneath it. And again, layering and using your pastels will help you to basically fake that perception. And I really do like how this face up turned out, as you'll see in the end. Obviously, we're just doing layers at this point. And I did this time, which I don't normally do, I made the eye shape with the sclera because I thought it would be a little bit easier to shape the eye. Here we are using our pastels to blush, contour, add shadow, and add highlights to the face. I go ahead with a Q-tip and blend everything together. Again, this is why layers are important. It looks like I just erased all my hard work, but I really didn't. And laying down a foundation, because I'm going to repeat these steps over and over and over again. I think I sealed this doll probably 5 times. I don't think I showed all 5 in this video, because then the video would be really, really long. So the name of the game is layers, and thin layers to make sure you're building up the color you want and not just blopping down color, because that will not look natural or good. I mean, unless you're going for that, then by all means. But for me, I was going for a more natural look. None of the Sailor Scouts really wear makeup, so I didn't even use makeup. I just wanted defined eyes, defined lips. They barely have eyebrows. Every picture I saw, they were basically lines, so that's what I gave her. And I think it really made the character stand out as the character it's supposed to be. And that for me is very satisfying, to make a portrait, quote unquote, portrait doll in a way that people would be able to recognize who it is. That to me is so satisfying. Oh, let's look at my terribly messy desk. Just fold it in. I'm trying to show you that I have a whole bunch of reds, but no reds were working. So the Artisas really just weren't standing up to the job, and I wanted something that was going to work. So I just picked out a bunch of colors. I picked out my whole pile of reds to try to find a color that worked. And sometimes you have to do that if you're trying to find something that will work. I really like what this color did to the crease in her lips. I might use this on future dolls because it really helped define her lips and give it the shadow that I was looking for, that I haven't found in the past because I've never tried it before. So yeah, really enjoyed that. They're not really blue. Well, actually it's kind of hard to see what color their eyes are because their pupils and their catch lights are so big, but what I could gather was her eyes like a dark gray color. So that's what I was trying to go for. I decided that I would start light and work my way up to see if I couldn't find a color that would show up on her eyes, and I ended up with a really dark gray. I do believe that it worked out in the end, but I did lay down this light gray first. feel like before I put her eyes in, I mean, she was looking all right. I mean, I really did love all the shading that I did, but just adding these eye details really did just bring her to life. Now, I do have to say I found that my eyesight is maybe a little bit worse than I thought it was. And I'm sorry for the color changing, by the way. My camera is interesting. But on the details of her eyes, I found that my eyesight is really bad, and I really did have to get in close. So I did some filming, and then I went back and recolored in her eyes to give it more saturation because it wasn't saturated enough. And can we talk about this eyeliner moment? I am feeling it. I think it just makes the whole look really pop. Like, that brown before was not doing this girl justice. She really did need that dark eyeliner to really make the features pop out. To do bottom lashes. The top lashes really didn't work out for her eye design, so I went ahead and erased those, but the bottom lashes I decided to keep. Alright, now I know in my last video, if you watched it, I said I don't like working with paint on a face up, but because I needed these colors to be so opaque, the pencils weren't cutting it, so I did have to use white paint on the sclera and on the catchlight, because the catchlight is basically their eye. It is so big. For the longest time, I thought anime characters didn't have like colored, I don't know what that's called. It's not your pupil. It's the other thing, the colored part. I will look that up. But I thought that the sclera, or the colored eyeball part on the doll or on the character was not real. Gosh, can I speak today? Anyway, I needed to use paint, and it was okay. I didn't fail miserably, so. Now we're just talking about the hair. I am terrible at cutting hair. I actually went out and bought hair cutting scissors so that I could do a decent job on her haircut. But I'm just showing you, like, whoops, that she needs bangs, and she needs a trim. So I will work on that for you guys off camera. The outfit, I went to Rec Room Art Designs on Etsy. You can find a whole bunch of patterns for all sorts of dolls on this Etsy shop. I cannot promote it enough. No, I'm not, affiliated or sponsored, but she has really great patterns with really great detail, and it's she's pretty awesome. So definitely look her up if you are looking for a pattern. make a hem on this collar piece, and I do end up using glue to hem, which I will show you, but I do have to hem it. And here is the glue that I use. I use Fabri-Tac. It's the same glue I use in the doll's head to glue the plugs for her re-roots. And I end up not doing that. I end up getting a Q-tip and putting the glue down around the edges because it's a little bit more controlled. The tip of my Fabri-Tac glue is a little too wide, and that would have been a mess. So, Q-tip for the hem. With it all hemmed up, I can actually start the actual bodice making. Actually, just kidding. I have to paint on a detail. After the collar is made, I need to paint on a white detail because all of the Sailor Scouts collars have a white line around them. Now, the white lines on their costume is very detailed. I just decided to, first of all, change my brush because the brush I was using was garbage. Use a better brush and just paint on the detail with white acrylic paint. Hello everyone, I'm coming back real time instead of voiceover to let you know that I messed up. When don't I mess up? So I did an awesome thing. I didn't film the awesome thing that I did, but I did an awesome thing where I actually put the collar onto this bodice for the Sailor Scout uniform. I put darts in, super exciting. This all lined up, a bow will go here, that's great. This is the back. Eventually it will be hemmed and I will close it in the back. But look here. Look at this collar, which looks amazing by the way. Sewed on perfectly. I took my time with it. I'll trim that little piece there and put a little bit of, it actually needs fray check is what it needs. I didn't fray check it before I put it together, but that's not the issue. The issue is when I put this, here's my issue. This is the size of the doll's head. This is supposed to be the head hole. This is supposed to be the head hole. That's not gonna work, everyone. What I think I did was there was an instruction in here that said cut one bodice, which I did, on the there's a little line here that indicates that you should cut this on the fold so that when you open it up, you have like a whole bodice piece, which is great. And then it said one collar. So I'm supposed to cut one bodice, one collar. Note, the center of the collar should be on the fold of the fabric when you cut it so that you will end up with a piece that has both sides in quotations, okay? I'm thinking what that meant was I should have cut it on the fold, which I did. I cut it on the fold so that I would have both sides, but there was no little thing here. And if I could find it, I would show you. Here it is. There was no little thing here that said to keep it on the fold. I should have cut it and then snipped it. Snipped it right here. So I would have made a snip here. I did not snip it. So just to let everyone know in this little timeout that I'm doing, if you buy this pattern, which is a beautiful pattern so far, I'm loving every bit of it. It looks like if I didn't have this head hole problem. I'm loving what I'm creating so far. I was like so excited. I was like, ooh, should I show people? You're ridiculous. If you buy this pattern, she means to cut it like this, cut it so that you make a shape that you need. And then you're also supposed to slice it at the fold, because if you don't, you will have head hole problems. Don't be like me. Don't have head hole problems. Follow the directions. Do that and you'll be happy. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Okay, I'm back with a voiceover and it's fixed. Please do not notice the continuity error. I obviously made the outfit before I did the doll, but I did fix it. Right here I'm showing you how I make the tiara. I used paper to, you know, draw out the design, what I thought might fit her, and I did it on a folded part, kind of like you make Valentine's, so that way I knew it was even on both sides. And then the doll's done again. Then I used her actual head to measure like where I wanted it to be. Obviously that one was too low, so I wanted to go ahead and trim it a bit. And then I use Worbla after I made the final design to trace and cut out of and then shape with heat. So Worbla, if you don't know, is a thermoplastic that once you heat it up, it becomes moldable, and here you can see how I've bent it a little and reshaped it. I did want it to be gold, so I put down a base of black and then I painted a bunch of different golds on top, which I'll show you. I don't know if I actually like the design of how I did it. I'm still on the fence about that, but you'll see how it turns out after I put all these different kinds of golds on top. Just a dot of UV resin on the tiara to make it look like a gem, and I attached the tiara to the doll with just regular sewing pins. I didn't actually end up gluing them to the back like I showed, but they are secured with pins. And here I am printing out her transformation pen on my 3D printer. I decided that instead of making finger gloves, because that would be really hard to do because their hands are so little, that for the gloves I am just painting Sailor Mars's hands white and using just a bit of white fabric and a dummy doll. I'm going to sew up the gauntlets for her gloves, take off because I sewed right sides to right sides and flipped it inside out. And here is the outfit completed. Uniform, gauntlets, transformation pin, and shoes. And here is a look at our finished Sailor Mars. Again, I really enjoyed this process. I thought it was very fun, bringing to life one of, my childhood favorite characters. Sailor Mars is not my favorite character. I will let you know my favorite character when we get to her. But it was so fun to create. The challenges, her haircut, she had bangs, which is weird for me to make bangs on a doll. I mean, finding the right shoes. I just happen to have those shoes in my stockpile. Creating her outfit, creating her transformation pen, creating her tiara. It was just a fun experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like what I did here. Let me know who you would like to see in the future, because I would really love to get your opinion and get new, fresh ideas. Of course, I have a doll list a mile long, but without you guys, what's the point of making a YouTube channel, right? I mean, I do enjoy it, but this is here for you as well. So thanks so much again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.